What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy, and guess what, guys? It's back in multiple ways. You're not going to believe this. Yeah, take a look here. Yeah, the virus is back with new subvariants, EG.5 and BA.2.86, now coming across the nation and in other countries across the world. Also, new mask mandates are already re-emerging. I'll tell you where and how severe they are because this is already happening. Stay tuned for that. Also, almost $1 billion in stolen C-19 money. Stolen, the DOJ says, in just the latest round of money stolen that the government can't keep track of. This is absolutely unbelievable. I'll give you all the details of that in this video. Let's jump right in. Thanks for liking and sharing these videos. And if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe because you literally can't make this stuff up. I know. Yeah. What to know about the latest new variants, EG.5, and we also have BA.2.86. Is this stuff ever going to end? This is unbelievable, right? Yeah, so this new COVID Eris variant, what that they're calling EG.5, dominating new US cases right as back to school is happening. Yeah, fun, fun, fun. Yeah, so just as back to school happens, my kid is now in kindergarten, and young kids especially have no idea about, uh, you know, you know, staying away from sick kids, and not putting their fingers in their mouth and all that good stuff. And especially nowadays, you can only miss a certain amount of days of school, and it's an absolute nightmare. So the schools force kids to basically go to school sick because you can't miss only but a handful of days. It's like 10 days of school sick for the whole year, or else they start sending you threatening letters and all this hogwash. So it's like the school systems kind of force you to send kids to school sick at some point. And it's almost kind of like reverse what they want. They don't want you to send the kids to school sick, but then you can't miss more than 10 days, or else they start to, give you truancies letters. And it's like, it's almost like you're a bad parent. And don't get me wrong, school's just starting here for the year, but it's almost like you're a bad parent if your kid misses more than 10 days of school sick. But yet, if your kid catches COVID, you're supposed to keep them out for 5 days minimum. And it's like, like what they're saying is like hypocrisy. They're contradicting themselves. It's a nightmare, right? Let me know your thoughts here in the comments. And remember, that's if they get sick just one time. Just one time for the whole school year, 5 days out. It's like, come on. Like, is this real life? I don't know. Yeah, so COVID infections and hospitalizations are on the rise in the US, Europe, and Asia. Are we really doing this again? Health officials are pointing at EG.5 Eris coronavirus, a subvariant of Omicron lineage that originally emerged in November of 2021. Who remembers that? And remember here that the CDC says that over 6.2 million people have been hospitalized in the US to date, and over 1.1 million people in the US have died, up 8.3% in the most recent week. Yeah, you can let me know your thoughts here on that in the comment. Hospitalizations are up 21% in the most recent week alone. Yeah. This is just in the US, by the way. The United Nations says that new estimates says that almost 15 million excess deaths associated with the pandemic is the new estimate. Unbelievable. Because remember, there's a lot of third world countries that can't or probably didn't even count this. Wow, that's a lot of people. And remember here that there's other viruses and plagues that are even higher than this. AIDS has killed about 36 million people. The 1918 flu, also known as the Spanish flu, which actually ended World War I because of how many people died from it, is estimated to kill up to 50 million people. The mortality rate was 10 to 20% of people that caught the virus. So if you caught the virus there, your chance of dying was 10 to 20%. Yeah. Black Death, also known as the bubonic plague, killed between 75 and 200 million back in the 1300s. Yeah, absolutely devastating. That was a large percentage of the entire world back then. So things can definitely be a lot worse. The new Eris variant, EG5, has already been found in more than 50 countries as of early August. It is the most common and fastest growing subvariant in the US, estimated to be responsible for about 17% of current virus cases, according to the CDC. There is also the BA.2.86 variant, which is described as the new lineage, new mutation nicknamed Parolia, and has been added to the list of mutations to watch, and only has a small number of reported cases so far. Has been detected in multiple countries, including the United States, Denmark, Israel, and UK. Mask mandates are already re-emerging here in the United States. That is correct. Yeah, and this is just a handful of the ones that are being reported here. As an example, Hollywood movie studio Lionsgate asked its employees to wear masks on certain floors in its facilities to staff members that are testing positive. Kaiser Permanente began to require staff, patients, and visitors to wear masks at its facilities in Santa Rosa, California this week in response to spikes in cases. Upstate Medical University in New York announced a similar decision last week for two of its hospitals. Some schools, including Rutgers University in New Jersey and Morris Brown College in Georgia, have issued mask mandates for their respective campuses, with the Atlanta-based school reinstating masks as a 2-week precautionary measure. Georgia Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene spoke out against the news from Morris Brown College, writing on X, formerly known as Twitter. Americans have had enough COVID hysteria. We will not comply. Nationally, hospitalizations due to the virus have been rising the past few weeks. Data from the CDC shows the hospital admission rates are still considered low in 97% of the US. Interestingly, the Supreme Court ruled in 2022 that the White House did not have the authority to enforce a vaccine or mask mandate on companies with 100 or more employees, though individual businesses can uphold their own policy on the matter. The court ruled last year that Transportation Security Administration could impose mask mandates on planes, trains, or other forms of transportation, leaving mask mandates as an option for the federal agencies. Clinicians, and public health experts maintain that high-quality N95 masks can help in reducing viral spread in communities. Also, more than 300 people just charged in COVID fraud, sweeping sweep targeting $830 million in stolen money. That's close to $1 billion just in the latest criminal charges the DOJ has found. This is not the first time. This has happened multiple times where they have now caught people. Um, yes, unbelievable, right? Yeah, federal law enforcement authorities charged hundreds of people in a nationwide sweep targeting more than $830 million in COVID-19 fraud, the Justice Department announced here. DOJ filed criminal charges against 371 individuals and recovered $231 million in stolen money already, the department said in a release. More than 60 of the defendants had connections to violent crime and transnational criminal networks. In one case, 30 members of a street gang in Wisconsin allegedly used money from an unemployment fraud scheme to solicit murder for hire and purchase firearms and drugs, said Deputy Attorney General Lisa Monaco at a roundtable meeting of law enforcement officials. In another case, 4 people were charged in an international pandemic relief fraud and money laundering scheme involving Nigeria. Yeah. Money of the individuals targeting the sweep were accused of fraudulently applying for assistance through the Paycheck Protection Program and economic injury disaster loans used to support small businesses during the pandemic. A government watchdog estimated in June that fraudsters may have stolen more than $200 billion in loans intended for struggling businesses, or 17% of the $1.2 trillion dispersed in total. Wow. Quote, we will seek judicial orders requiring convicted defendants to pay back every stolen dollar, and we have 20 years to realize those recoveries. It does look like they are catching at least a decent amount of these people. It looks like hundreds or thousands of these people are being caught. They're going to go to jail or prison, and it looks like they've recovered well over $1 billion of this money, maybe multiple billions. I don't know. At least they're doing something, right? So let me know your thoughts on all of this here in the comments. I'll keep you up to date here with everything going on here on a daily basis. Thank you for liking and sharing these videos. If you haven't yet, click the subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on any new videos that come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Click here and be aware this is coming in 48 hours for all 50 states. Or they're just dropping dead. Is this a presidential cover-up? Click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.